What's up, babies? What's up, what's up, what's up? We are back. Did I just copy Jani? Anyway, what's up, y'all? We are back. And actually, we're going to stay seated right at the desk once again. I had a lot of fun making that video about prepping my music, and a great question came in about how I prep my cue points. Actually, I guess the question was technically, do I use cue points? And the answer is yes. So I'm going to show you kind of how I set them up for different situations. And this does include ceremony and through all of reception, and how I generally set up my cue points too. So come with me, let's check it out. So we're back at the desk, as I mentioned. You can see we got the laptop right behind me. And as much as I love my face being on camera, actually today, while recording Serato, I'm going to take my face off of it just so that you can see the entire screen, because we're going to be kind of clicking around a lot. So just try to keep up. And if you miss me, just leave a comment, all right? All right, so this is the last time you're going to see me, so bye. And now here we are in Serato. Switching my mouse over. Look at that. Look at us go. So first off, let's just clean up a little bit here. Number one, I'm just gonna reset all my history, which if you don't do this after every event, you totally should, because it clears the ones that you've played. I feel like that's pretty basic though, so yada yada. And let's clear out this stuff. So, we're going to take a look at, I had a couple this past weekend, Brianna and Philip, who were awesome. And as you can see, we had a bunch of crates. You can kind of just see a continuation of prepping music and just how I break it down. So like ceremony, then you have your formal stuff. So that's parent dances and first dance and any other formalities they might have. This was just, yep, that. This was requests that they mentioned. Do not play, of course. And then I kept some line dances in there. Ended up playing no line dances. These were requests that I had ahead of time, which are all over the place. And these were a bunch that I got. I cannot say how important it is to get every single request that they have, because while I didn't play a lot of them, I definitely had to play some of them. This was specifically requested by the bride. So yeah, broke down into some sing-alongy stuff. And of course, they were punk rock fans because they booked me. So I like to put all that stuff in one place so that we can roll into it if we want to. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Let's talk about cue points. So let's see in here. Let's real quick. We're going to pull up a track that has an intro so I can show you how I do that. Now, The Rock Show is a song that I know really well, being a huge Blink-182 fan. So the way that I set up my cue points are right at the beginning of the song. If it has an introduction, we set up our first cue point right at the beginning of the song. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to hear the music as I'm playing it, but that's good. It'll protect me from, copyright stuff. So then this is a 8-bar intro. So then we set the second cue point up at the 5, and then we set the final cue point up at the 9. And then that's going to be right where our song drops in. So hanging out behind the club on the weekend. There you go. So that's pretty simply that. Let's find a song that isn't perfectly introed out. So this is going to be an acapella in. This is a fantastic edit by Scooter. If you don't have it or use it, you should get it. So it's an acapella in of Sugar We're Going Down. And am I more than you bargained for yet? Right? But dropping on the opening note of this song is not dropping on the 1. So this is obviously red. My first cue point is going to be the first sound that is made by the song. Am I? But then if you know the song, then you know the more is what lands on the 1. So I've gotten pretty good at like scratching this in because I use it so much. But when I started, I just wanted to have that fail safe. So if it's a song that you're not like super used to, a song that you don't know incredibly well, I put the next cue point on the 1. So that's the more than you bargained for yet. I'm singing out of key on purpose. Shut your butt. So there's that. That kind of is simple. I'll be honest. I don't know what this cue point is. Based on where it is, I'm guessing we used it for introductions or something at some point like that. But so that's that. Now let's see another song where we. Oh, here we go. Perfect. It's another example. Exactly the same thing. So coming in, this is All the Small Things by Blink-182. So if you know the song, it goes da 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 da, right? So we have the da da, and then we're hitting the red on the one. Right? So then, guess what the four is? So the way I separate these is if you think back to the rock show, I had the first cue point on the 1, the 5, and the 9, right? So really, this second cue point, which I made red again because just colors work for me, the second cue point is going to be on the first one of the song. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So then, what is that fourth cue point going to be? Right when the vocals come in. That's where it says All the Small Things. So, yeah, so basically I use, if it's a quote unquote 5 or 4 bar intro, like it's coming in on the 5 instead of the 9, then I leave that gap right there. I leave that space. So if it was a 9 bar intro, then you'd see something in there, but I basically just, it's constant imagery for me, which is super helpful. Now, I know we're using a lot of Blink-182 and a lot of pop punk for this, but I really hope that it's starting to make sense. Basically, what I do is if it's an intro, we use the first 3 cue points to set up from the start of the song to the 4 bar in, and then dropping right when the vocal comes in. My last cue point is always going to be when the vocal comes in. This is just the basic of how I set up cue points. The way somebody else sets up cue points is, in my opinion, very important to look at too. So I appreciate you being here because that just means that you're trying to find holes in your own system. A good buddy of mine, Drew Pierce, who works for Direct Music Service and in my opinion is the king of cue points and tags. Man, this guy's got it right. And I actually emulate a lot of what I do after what he does. So you can see he has the first cue point right at the first part of the song, like the very first beat you hear. Look, he has this one set up on the 5, and then he's got that one set up as the vocals come in, and then the fourth cue point set up on the 9. So if you know this song, it's the da 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 da, love me, say that you love me. Cool, sweet. I don't need to sing anymore. What Drew does amazingly, in my opinion, is he sets up his cue points for outs too. So you know if you're playing, let's put it on both real quick, right? So if you're hitting that cue point and you're hitting, you put both on at the same time. Oh shit, I'm like a little off. It's basically, he's just making it so he just has to look for colors. And it's just a perfect little system for playing music. I actually love that about him and his style and how he sets up his cue points. So shouts to Drew Pierce. And make sure you check out him and Fuse Mania on the Drew and Fuse show because they are excellent and their music episodes are everything. But anyway, so yeah, so look at the way other people set theirs up. The way Drew sets it up is he sets his up to be able to show you an out as well, which is sick. So again, that's like the basics of setting up for just about any song that you're going to be DJing, that you're going to be actually playing for crowds. Now I'm going to show you a little bit more of how I set up cue points specifically for weddings. So first we're going to start off with how I set up my ceremony cue points because this is kind of important. So I do use my backup laptop for ceremony. I know some people use smaller devices like tablets or even phones. I don't. I've had them fail before, and that is really scary. Just that time of like, it says it's downloaded. I'm hitting the button. Why isn't it playing? Why are you sleeping? Like there's really nothing you can do when you hit that point. I know some people use some DJ apps. Plainly, simply, I can't bring myself to trust anything other than Serato anymore. So one of my biggest fears with ceremony music is it running out too early as well. So a really quick and simple way you can cover your butt for this is to set up what I call like a refresh point. Basically a point on the beat that you can always recognize and you can jump back to in case the flower girl wanders off into left field or something like that. I've had someone break their shoe while they were walking down the aisle because it was grass and they were in heels. So you got to think about that stuff a little bit ahead of time and check out the way that I do it. Let's jump into it. Right. So if we're looking at the ceremony for this previous wedding, let's just take a look at this one first. This was the first song, and this was the song for the biggest group of people. So this was like the officiant, all the groomsmen, all the bridesmaids, right? Crazy. So basically, you start playing it, yada, 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 yada. A lot of time goes by. Again, this is a very long song, but I want to have that refresh point that I can bounce back to at any point. So that's going to be this yellow point. Like, oh no, the song's running out. I look down at my sheet and I see that we still have 12 people that need to come through. You just hit a button and nobody ever knows the difference. And I can just sit here all day. Da, 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 da. There you go. Bang. Sick. Awesome way to buy yourself some time and not have to use like a filler song, right? And boom, you could sit there forever just tapping that button. This way you can provide the service that you promised and you can keep the same song rolling the entire time instead of using like a second filler song or something like that. Depending on the scenario, oftentimes I like to set up another cue point right at the very end, specifically to make sure that like that moment happens, that like perfect timing of it all. But I'll be honest, it's June and I've been a little lazy. But so that's how I set stuff up for ceremony. In my opinion, it's just another way to prove your worth. So with ceremony finished, there's nothing really we need to do for cocktail hour. If you're live mixing, you're basically just playing live music that you would normally play. But as far as like introduction songs, this wedding was actually a really good example of this. So we're going to jump into that right now. All right, so I just did some mocking up and we're going to play some audio for you. Reluctantly, very reluctantly. But I really want to show you these cue points. I actually recorded this whole thing and I just felt like it lost the effect. So copyrights be damned. Let's go. Let's show this. So, all right, so we're back here. We're looking at the couple's introduction song from this past weekend. So real quick, you can check out the cue points. And the first cue point is just set up right at the beginning of the song. And then I have these bottom three. You can see they're grouped together. This one's 34 seconds, 35 seconds, 36 seconds. Let's take a peek at this section of the song. You can see 34, 35, 36. So this is right where clearly something bigger is about to happen. So let's just check this out and kind of run through the way that I would introduce it. So I'd have my assistant start playing this song, right? Da, 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 da. It's been a really long time coming. We're really excited to be here. There's so much love in the room, friends and family. It is my distinct honor and privilege. All right, I'm going to stop right there because I'm clearly winding up to introduce the couple. But my timing is so off. You can tell already. We're at 13 seconds into the song and I'm supposed to somehow post this vocal in another 20 seconds. No way that's happening. So what I do, right? We're just going to continue where we left off. Friends and family, my distinct honor and privilege. Let's bring in the newest couple in the world, the Churches. Boom. So basically, I just have 3 cue points set up so that I can, at any point, or my assistant can, at any point, basically just hit that and go. And we're off. Super easy, right? So yeah, that's how I set up all of my intros for basically every wedding. I don't think anything that I've said here is truly like mind-blowing, but I think it can be super helpful if it's information that you are looking for. So once again, I think you're doing the right thing by being here and checking out the way other people set stuff up, because I've done the same 100 times. You type into YouTube how you set up cue points, every DJ is going to have one. I'm surprised it took me a year to even do this. But I want my stuff to be tried, tested, and bulletproof for you because I don't want to be giving you like even 90% of good information. I want it to be 100% crispy, clear, perfect. So hopefully this video has been helpful to you and how I set up my cue points for not only regular songs, but also for formal moments in private events like weddings. But yeah, thanks for checking this out. It's amazing that you're here, and I know I'm bad at this, but if you could please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you sign up for all notifications with your boy DJ Hi Kevin, because I love doing this and I just really like this community that we're building. So to all of you that are here every single week, I appreciate you so much. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.